Good afternoon, students.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Today we will start another chapter from fifth chapter, that is game theory. Okay. We will discuss the basic terminology of game theory. In game theory, we are having two types of strategies. One is pure strategy and mixed strategy. Before discussing, okay, pure strategy and mixed strategy, we will discuss, okay, what is game, okay, what is player, okay, what is sum of gains and losses. You know the definition of strategy. Already we had seen in decision theory. What is strategy? In decision theory, we discussed strategy should be strictly row-wise. States of nature should be strictly column-wise. What is strategy? Strategy is nothing but list of all possible actions. It is also known as moves or course of action. Correct? Strategy in decision theory, we learned the strategies. Correct? What is strategy? Strategy is nothing but list of possible actions or moves or course of actions. What is game? Game is nothing but a situation of conflict, or simply we can say competition, in which two or more competitors are involved in decision making. Then, can you give me one example of game theory? Anybody? Playing chess? Anybody? What is a game? Who is called as player? Students? Students, anybody can tell me what is the meaning of game according to you? Game refers, are you agreeing with it, with the same definition? Game refers to a situation of conflict. Are you agreeing? कुछ बात ही नहीं करना है क्या? Just go through the definitions, then one by one I will cover. What is a game? Here I wrote game is nothing but a collection of decision makers, that is called players. Okay, the other way, how we can define game? Game refers to a situation of conflict. The other way, competition in which two or more competitors are involved in decision making in anticipation of certain outcomes over a period of time. Here, what is the definition of player? Already I have given. Here, we are having strategies also, I told. Strategies is of two types. Okay, players definition I have given. Payoff also, you know, payoff is nothing but outcome. Already we discussed in decision theory. Correct? In decision theory, we are also having payoff matrix. Payoff matrix in that strategies and states of nature is there. We will go through the definitions one by one. You know strategy. Strategy is nothing but the list of possible actions. Strategies are bifurcated into two types. One is pure strategy. Another one is here I wrote, go through the sentences. There are two types of strategies, okay? In game theory, first one is pure strategy. Second one is mixed strategy. What is the definition of pure strategy? It is the decision rule which is always used by the player to select the particular strategy. That means particular course of action is adopted by the player, that is called pure strategy. What is mixed strategy? Okay, what is mixed strategy? Players adopt different strategies to get the possible outcome, that is known as mixed strategy. Next. Here see, if you observe payoff matrix carefully here, payoff matrix, I have taken player A and player B. Payoff matrix for player A, the corresponding strategies is given. Player A consists of two players, similarly player B consists of two players. Okay, A1, B1, that is A11, row 1, column 1, that is A11, row 1, column 2, that is A12, row 2, column 1, that is A21, row 2, column 2, that is called as A22. This is called as 2 by 2 game. Okay, 2 players, 2 rows and 2 columns, then it is called as 2 by 2 game. Here, how many types of games are available in our syllabus? Any guess? Have you seen the syllabus? 2-person zero-sum game. First of all, we will discuss what is 2-person zero game. Here, I have given all the definitions. Types of games. Go through 2-person game when there are 2 competing players. When there are 2 competing players. Okay. Screen is not visible.
मैम स्क्रीन दिख रहा है बट वो फोल्डर दिख रहा है DS 2020 का.
अब तक फिर क्यों नहीं बता रहे हैं आप लोग? Again, I will reconnect. Okay, 1 second. Wait. Right now, is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Right now, go through the definitions. What is a game? Are you agreeing with me? Game is nothing but a situation of conflict. So many definitions I have given. Anyone you can choose. What is player? A collection of decision makers is nothing but players. Where we will use, anyone can give me example of game theory in marketing? Most of the students opted marketing. Where we will use game theory concept in marketing? 4 P's, correct? Pricing of product. Where a firm's ultimate sales are determined not only by the price levels, but also by the prices of its competitors. This case we will use game theory concept. Yes, game theory is widely used in marketing research. Anyone can give me another marketing example? No idea? Where we will use game theory only in marketing? In finance? आप लोग कुछ बात ही नहीं करते. All divisions are like this only. कुछ doubts आते नहीं है क्या? नहीं है तो नहीं पूछना है. ऐसा कुछ है क्या? What is the reason? Okay. There are game theory deals with strategies. In decision theory, you have studied what is strategy. Strategy is nothing but list of all possible outcomes or moves or course of action. I told the definition of decision making, correct? Among n number of available courses of action, you have to choose the best course of action. That is nothing but decision maker's role. Here, strategy is nothing but strategy is a broad-based formula to achieve the organization's goal. Here there are in game theory also we are having 2 types of strategies. First one is pure strategy. Second one is mixed strategy. Pure strategy is nothing but it is the decision rule which is always used by the player to select a particular strategy. That means a particular course of action is chosen by the player, that is known as pure strategy. That means here in pure strategy, the main objective of player is to maximize the gain or minimize the lose. Second one is mixed strategy. That means players adopt different strategies to get the possible outcome. Okay. Here the objective is again maximize the expected gain or minimize the expected loss by making choice with certain probabilities. That is mixed strategy. In the final examination, mixed strategy question will come. Okay. Here I have have given the examples also. Okay, here pure strategy, the other way we can call it as maximin or minimax strategies. Here also the same meaning. Right now, how many types of games are available? We will go through. Go through types of games, students. Types of games: two-person game, two-person zero game, zero-sum game. What does it mean? A game which only two players, for example, say player A and player B, is called two-person zero-sum game. If one player's gain is equal to another player's loss, this is called as zero-sum game. And what I told, decision making is of three types we discussed. One is of certainty, another one is of uncertainty, another one is of risk. Under risk, we have studied three methods. First one is expected monetary value. Second one is expected value of perfect information. Third one is value of perfect information. Another one is decision making under uncertainty. We studied five methods, that is maximin, maximax, Hargrave-Jampha criteria, Laplace criteria, and minimax regret criteria. Again, under certainty is bifurcated into two types. First one is non-competitive situation. Another one is competitive situation. Competitive situation is nothing but game theory. It is interrelated. Decision theory and game theory are interrelated. See, strategies, the definition is same. Payoff matrix, definition is same. In regret, we used to calculate this, correct? Regret. What is regret? Largest payoff minus payoff for the corresponding strategy is nothing but regret. Okay. Again, certainty is bifurcated into two types. One is non-competitive situation. Another one is competitive situation. Competitive situation is nothing but game theory. Again, competitive situation is bifurcated into two types, that is called as pure strategy as well as mixed strategy. Pure strategy means the player opt. What is mixed this strategy? Pure strategy, the player selects the particular strategy, that means particular course of action. Here, go through the problem, first problem. Go through the first problem. There are two firms. Okay, firm A is having two strategies. Firm B is having three strategies. Here, we need to find out the value of the game. First one is pure strategy. That means the player is going to opt a particular course of action. A1, A2. Player B1, B2, B3. Whatever the values is given, those are nothing but payoffs. 2, 7, 8, 10, 4, 6. Here, listen, only one formula is there for game theory. First, you have to remember this. Row minima is equivalent to column maxima, that is called as saddle point. That is called as saddle point. If saddle point exists, again, every row you have to choose the minimum value. Every column you have to choose the maximum value. Row minima is equal to column maximum, same value. If you get on LHS as well as RHS, then the particular game is having saddle point. If saddle point exists, that is called saddle point exists means the player opts a particular course of action. That is called as pure strategy. Row minima is not equal to column maxima. That means saddle point doesn't exist for that game. That is called mixed strategy. Again, I'm repeating, students, this is important. For every row, you have to choose the minimum value. For every column, you have to choose the maximum value. LHS is equal to RHS, that RHS the value. Then that means the game consists of saddle point. If saddle point exists, that means the player opts a particular course of action. That is called pure strategy. If row minima is not equal to column maximum, that is called as mixed strategy. What does it mean? The player opts a different strategies. Here, first bit, we will go through row minima. For columns, we will go through maximum. First row, which is minimum 284. Among these three values, which is minimum 2. For A2, for player A2, which is minimum, that is 6. Similarly, for column, first column, B1 column, the maximum value is 7. For row column B2, the maximum value is 10. For column B3, the maximum value is 6. Among all these, the common value is 6. That's right. The value of the game is 6. The value of the game is 6. This is called saddle point. That is, row minima is equivalent to column maxima. Getting, students? Row minima is also known as maximum. According to decision theory, we studied maximin and minimax. Column maxima, we call it as minimax. Here I mentioned, see. Go through minimax and maximin. Students, go through. The main aim of every organization is to earn maximum profit. That means here, everywhere we are trying to reduce the risk. Maximin strategy is the one in which a player or organization maximizes the probability of minimum profit so that the degree of risk can be reduced. This concept we will use in decision theory as well as game theory. If you go through minimax strategy, the main objective is to minimize the losses and maximize the profit. That is mixed strategy. Right now we are discussing the same. The other way, whatever it is, we call it as this. This is called as saddle point. An outcome is a saddle point. Row minima is equal to column maxima. Then saddle point exists for the game. Understood? Any query? Finally, value of the game, what we have to write? Finally, value of the game is equal to 6. These type of problems they won't give in the final examination, just for understanding purpose. Whatever the game they will give, for every row you have to find out the minimum value. For every column you have to choose the maximum value. Okay? Whatever the common value exists, that is your saddle point. Okay? Value of the game is your 6. Similarly, calculate for second bit. These are for practice purpose only. If saddle point exists, what is this strategy? Pure strategy. If saddle point doesn't exist, then that is called mixed strategy. Go through the second problem. And tell me, saddle point exists or not? Tell me the answer for second bit. What is the value of the game? Saddle point exists or not? Row minima is equal to column maxima are not verified. Exist? Here we have to calculate what? Row minima. Similarly, for columns, we have to calculate column maxima. Okay. For first row, 4, 4, minus 5, 6. That means minimum value we have to choose. Which is minimum? Only one negative value, that is minus 5. If you observe, second row, all are negative values. You have to choose minimum value, that is which is farthest from the origin, that is minus 5. Third row, again, 2 positive values, 2 negative values. Among minus 9, 8 and minus 9, which is minimum, minus 9. Next, row 4. Again, we are having only one negative value, that is minus 9. For first column, we have to choose maximum. Among all the values, 4, minus 3, 6, 7. Maximum is 7. Similarly, second column, maximum is 9. Third column, maximum is minus 5. It appeared twice. We have to take only once. Then, fourth column, we have to choose the maximum value. The maximum value is 6. The common value, if you observe, the common value, row minima is equal to column maximum. If you observe, minus 5, here also we are having minus 5. Here also we are having minus 5. That's why value of the game is minus 5. Value of the game is minus 5. Here if you are considering player A and player B. Here player A and player B. Here player A has, because here row 1, row 2 we got the same values, minus 5 and minus 5. That means if saddle point exists, what I told, row minima is equal to column maximum, then saddle point exists. For this problem, we got the value of the game. But player A is having an alternate strategy. Either he go with strategy 1 or strategy. Here he is having 2 alternate strategies. Either he can play with first or otherwise second. Clear, students? Any query?
No, ma'am.
Then, this is called pure strategy. If saddle point exists, then it is called as pure strategy. Right now, we will verify the other problem. Here, player A is having alternate strategy. Value of the game is finally minus 5. You tell me. This is 2 by 2. Take this problem. A1, A2, B1, B2. Three, 4, It is 2 by 2 game. 2 rows and 2 columns, 2 by 2 game. Okay. Here, find out row minima, column maximum. First row, the minimum value is 3. Second row, the minimum value is 1. First column, the maximum value is 4. Second column, the maximum value is 5. Anything LHS means RHS equal. Row minima is equal to column maxima? No. In the final examination, you have to write row minima is not equal to column maxima. Row minima is not equal to column maxima. Therefore, saddle point doesn't exist. सब लोग make a note, students. Saddle point doesn't exist. The given problem is of mixed strategy. The given problem is of mixed strategy. If the given problem is of mixed strategy, that means what does it mean? Maximin is not equal to minimax, or row minima is not equal to column maxima. What does it mean? Mixed strategy. What I told? The player mix different strategies to get a particular outcome. Here, this is known as algebraic method. If 2 by 2 matrix is there, you are unable to get the saddle point. This is called as algebraic method. This is called as algebraic method. In this, we have to follow certain rules. We have to follow certain rules. This we will represent it as P. This is 1 minus P. This is Q. This is 1 minus Q. Again, I am repeating. For player A1, this is probability of success P. Q, you know, probability of failure. Same. P, 1 minus P. Q, 1 minus Q. Here, the formula to calculate value of the game. Finally, what they asked, solve the following game. That means we need to find out value of the game. Students, you have to remember this formulas. First row, first column, A11. First row, second column, you should not write A1, B2, A1, B1. This is formula. It is fixed. You cannot change this formula. First row, first column, A11. First row, second column, A12. For second row, first column, A21. Second row, second column, A22. These capital A's represent players. These represent the corresponding probabilities. Students, this represents the corresponding probabilities. Then, the formula to calculate value, the formula is cross multiplication. If you remember, students, in 10th standard, you have studied matrices. To calculate matrices, what you have to do? You have to do cross multiplication. If you remember, A into D minus B into C. Here also, to calculate value of the game, you have to do cross multiplication. You have to do cross multiplication. If you do cross multiplication, what is the formula? Today we will discuss formulas. Tomorrow's lecture we will continue how to solve the problem. Right now, listen carefully. This P is nothing but probability that the player A uses the strategy A1. The notations you have to remember. Here I have taken P, here I have taken 1 minus P. Here I have taken Q, here I have taken 1 minus Q. What is P? Probability that player A uses strategy A1. 1 minus P means what? Probability that the player A uses strategy A2. Similarly, what is Q? Probability that player B uses strategy B1. What is B2? That is 1 minus Q. Probability that the player B uses strategy B2. Here, value of the game is nothing but expected payoffs for player A as well as player B. Right now, value of the game, listen carefully. A11, same matrix. In 10th standard, how you learn matrices the same way. A, B, C, D. If you take, then cross multiply. A into D minus B into C. The same way, in the numerator, you will get these values. What are the values you will get? Within brackets or parentheses, you can write down. A11 into A22. Here, whatever the small letters A11 I wrote, these are nothing but expected payoff for strategy A1 and B1. A12 expected payoff for A1, B2. A21 is nothing but expected payoff for A2, B1. A22 is expected payoff for A2, B2. The meaning is that minus, again, cross multiplication, do it cross multiplication, your wish. A12 into A21, if you want to write, you can write it down. Okay, vice versa also. Anyway, you can take. If you want to write A21 into A12, it is well and good. If you want to take A12 into A21, doesn't matter. A21 into A12 upon the denominator. Listen carefully. Here, whatever the diagonal elements you are taking, you have to add it. A11 plus A22, A11 plus A22. Here I will write A11 plus A22. The formula is minus. Again, these two values you have to take. That is minus A21 plus A12, A11 plus A22. Minus in the formula, minus is there. Again, within brackets, A21 plus A12. If you are multiplying with minus symbol, what it will become? Minus A21, minus into plus, minus A12. If you want to keep denominator like this, you can keep it. Otherwise, you can write this. Everybody make a note of these formulas. Tomorrow we will solve by using these formulas. If you don't know the formulas, we are unable to solve it. Till here, any query? Value of the game, how to find out? Students?
No, ma'am.
Understood. Here, don't get confused. Here, these are the strategies why you have taken this. These are nothing but expected payoffs for A1, B1 is A11. Expected payoff for A1, B2 is A12. Expected payoff for A2, B1 is A21. Okay. In general, if you consider probability matrix, A is replaced with probabilities. Everywhere we will take P11, P12. But in game theory, we will represent instead of P, we will represent with small a. That is the difference. Okay. Next, we need to find out. Okay. For each player, we need to find out expected payoff. And player A uses strategy A1, A2. Okay. What is the chances for player B? For this purpose, we need to calculate expected payoff for player A when player B uses the strategy B1 or B2. For that purpose, we need to calculate P value. This is P. P value we need to calculate. Formulas, if you do little mistake, entire problem goes wrong, you will get value of the game is in negatives. That's why while calculating this, you have to remember these formulas. Okay, let's listen carefully. To calculate P, that means strategies for player A. P is strategy for player A. Q is nothing but strategy for player B. Optimal strategies for player A as well as player B. Then the formula is A22 in the numerator, A22 minus A21. A22 minus A21 upon earlier value of the game. How we have calculated AD minus BC. A into D minus BC. The same way, here we will get A11 plus A22 minus A21 plus A12. You don't want to write within brackets, then expand. A22 minus A21 upon A11 plus A22 minus A21 minus A12 is the formula. This is nothing but optimal strategy for player A is nothing but P. Similarly, optimal strategy for player B we need to calculate. Then the formula is Q is equivalent to A22 remains the same in the numerator. Instead of A21, we have to take this particular column, that is A12. A22 minus A12 upon same. Denominator value remains as it is. A11 plus A22 minus A21 minus A12. These are the formulas, students, you have to remember. Okay? You don't want to write this thing every time. This thing every time. This we will call it as D. That is nothing but diagonal elements of the payoff matrix. Diagonal elements of the payoff matrix. What is P? I told what is P? What is P? You don't want to write the denominator. Simply you can write this as A22 minus A21 upon D is nothing but diagonal elements, capital D or small d, your wish. Capital D is nothing but diagonal elements of the payoff matrix for player A. Understood? Have you noted down?
Yes, ma'am.
Any queries? Okay. If it is 2 by 2 matrix, then this is called as algebraic method. If it is 2 by 2 matrix, this is called as algebraic method. If the given problem, the game theory consists of 3 by 4 matrix. If the given problem is 3 rows and 4 columns, that is A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, B4, then how to solve? If it is 2 by 2 matrix, we have applied this rule. If it is of 3 by 4 matrix, then we have to use principle of dominance rule. Principle of dominance rule. If it is 3 by 4